Hello, what's up? I'm Angie. This is New Path Tarot, and today we're going to do a pick a card reading where we are going to dig into a person or a situation that you want to look into a little further. So, you may or may not have somebody in mind. My advice to you would be to get somebody in mind for this reading. So think of somebody or something that you want more information on, and we'll dig in, okay? So I guess I'm doing 4 piles today because that's what wanted to come out. And I didn't look at them yet. I just literally pulled them out, so hopefully they'll be good cards and they'll cooperate. Instead of being weird cards like 10 of Swords or something. Nobody's going to pick 10 of Swords, you know? Okay, first card, the Priestess. So that's High Priestess. So pile 1, High Priestess. Pile 2, Star. Pile 3, 3 of Swords. Pile 4, 10 of Pentacles. Okay, now you can check on more than one thing. You can pick multiple piles depending, but start with one. I'm going to hold them all up for you so you can feel the energy of them equally. I hope I do this right. Maybe? No, the other way? Okay. Honestly, I don't even know. Let me just hold them. Okay, pile 1 again. Pile 2. Pile 3. And pile 4. And I'll have the cards on the little thumbnail thing too, so if you want to look at them a little bit more closely, you should be able to do that. Okay, so the cards we're using today, by the way, are Accurate AF Tarot. And go ahead and skip to your pile if you're 2, 3, or 4, and if you're pile 1, then stay right here. Okay, pile 1. I kind of feel like I already said that I was going to use the Accurate AF, but that's how I picked your cards. I'm actually going to use the Light Seers Tarot for the card reading itself, because those will give me more like details and things like that. Okay, Magician, Ace of Wands, 3 of Swords reversed, 8 of Swords reversed, 4 of Swords, and 10 of Pentacles. Okay, so there's going to be a new start in this situation. If it is right now not at a good place, this is going to be able to have a fresh start to it. You got Magician, which is beginning energy, and Ace of Wands, which is also beginning energy. So here's the thing, okay? This is the downside to it. When you have 3 of Swords, 8 of Swords, 4 of Swords, that tells me that there's some kind of conflict or something. Could be current, could be past, could be both. But this is something that I'm trying to figure out how I want to say this. I don't know. I don't know if it feels like I have to branch off and say a couple different things because I can't just narrow it down. Some of you guys need a closure with this. Some of you guys need the fresh start, like I said. It feels to me, though, like it's not either or. It feels like you need to have closure with the old so that the new can start. You need to put the old stuff away. It needs to basically be addressed, but then let go of completely. Like, we're not going to bring this up anymore kind of thing. Like, once you talk about it, it's over. So let's say you guys have, like, you're asking about a relationship and you guys argue or something. You're going to have a conversation where you say, let's get all of the stuff out of the way that is uncomfortable to talk about. And then we need to close the door on that stuff, because assuming it's past, not current. This reminds me of somebody that, like, maybe one of you messed up earlier in the relationship and the other person never lets you live it down. So they're always bringing it up whenever you get in an argument. They're always just like, well, remember when you did this? And you're like, you're still bringing that up, like, after all this time? Are you ever going to let that, like, what do you just think about that all the time? Is that, like, always in your head? You're always thinking about it, just waiting for the next time? It's like there's resentment there, or there's like hostility there. So I feel like somebody feels like they were done wrong and the other person just won't let it go. They are always kind of like thinking, I don't know why, like there's a reason why they just haven't been able to move on from it in a healing kind of way. And it could be literally that they just don't feel like justice has been served in it. Like, you did me wrong, but you never really truly apologized. It's like kids when you say, now apologize to your sister, and they're like, sorry. And it's like, no, say it like you mean it. And they don't really mean it. They're just like pretending to get you to shut up so that they can go back to doing what they were doing. So that's kind of the thing, is there needs to be an earnest apology, an earnest conversation. How do we move forward from here? Let's put this behind us, and that sort of thing. Because here's the thing, with 10 of Pentacles reversed, you have to have this fresh start with Magician and Ace of Wands, because if you don't, the 10 of Pentacles is just going to never happen. Like, it's just gonna stay reversed. It's like this what could have been or what should have been, but it won't ever happen. Look at it, how it looks upright, so you can see what I mean. This is the future, and this future won't arrive as long as this is still the case. So this has to be addressed, and it has to be done with, and the door needs to be shut, never to be opened again by both people. And it's going to have to take you initiating this conversation, because the Magician is somebody who actually does something. The Ace of Wands is the energy of, it's the potential of this conversation, this initiation, but potential can only go so far. You have to actually do it. It can't just like, you can't be like, I wish I would do this, but I don't. You know, it's like, I have to make this happen. You have to be determined about it. Magician is very determined. The Magician takes time to practice his craft and to, you know, make his future. He is very long-term, big picture focused, and he can see how the trend of things. Like, if I keep going on this way, I know what's going to happen. So he works backwards. He goes to the end, the finish line, the 10 of Pentacles. He goes, okay, I see that that's reversed. I'm going to have to fix this. So what do I got to do? Well, I'm going to have to take matters into my own hands here. Okay. So I think that that's your best shot right now. I can't tell you, will this pan out? Will your closure happen, and will it all go well and everything? I can't promise you that, because it seems like there's another person involved, and that's up to them. But at least as far as you're concerned, you have to put the effort out to try to get this resolved, because it's just floating out there right now. This needs to like be, it's like the elephant in the room, you know. This has to be addressed. Okay, cool. Well, that's it for you guys. Remember, your main card, High Priestess, to tell you illumination and knowledge. High Priestess is very intuitive, and the Magician in conjunction with High Priestess is a power couple, because they are like formidable. She's got the intuition, he's got the manifestation. Together, they can do anything. So that's what the energy needs to change into, as opposed to what it is now, which is like, who knows what. So you gotta bring this out. You gotta harness your intuition, you gotta harness your manifestation, and you gotta take your life into your own hands and do what you gotta do. All right? Remember, words are powerful. Like, I have always felt like if you could just communicate something to somebody in the right way, that maybe, just maybe, something will click in their head and they'll go, I get it now. That's kind of like what I feel for your group. I'm not saying it's always possible. In fact, it's usually not. It's usually like people have their mind made up about things, and there's nothing you can do to change their mind. They have their mind made up, and they have all their limiting beliefs, and they have their reasons for things, and they have what they've been taught, and they have what people tell them. They have their perceptions. They have their what they need to keep up. They have their image that they have, that people see them as, and all that sort of thing. Those kind of people you can't get through. But somebody who is open-minded and flexible and not stuck in their ways, and somebody who's intuitive, somebody who understands manifestation, then those are the kind of people you can get through to. All right, cool. Okay, pile 2. Your card was the Star. Okay. Star is harmony and renewal. You got Justice reversed, Knight of Pentacles, 2 of Wands, 3 of Wands, 9 of Pentacles, and Page of Pentacles. Cool. Overall, all these cards look good. Justice reversed is a little worrisome. I mean, sometimes Justice reversed can indicate that justice is not in your favor, or that there's imbalanced karma, something like that. So I'm going to kind of keep it in the back of my mind here, but I don't feel like that is overshadowing all the positivity in your cards overall. So with your Justice reversed, and then you have Knight of Pentacles and Page of Pentacles as character cards, and 9 of Pentacles reversed. So lots of Pentacle stuff going on, plus 2 and 3 of Wands. So a lot of forward movement, a lot of possibilities, a lot of potentials, a lot of future growth opportunities, success, things like that. So if you're asking about a situation, that was pretty clear, cut, and dry. If you're asking about a person, it kind of depends on the context. Like if you're wanting to know if things are going to progress with this person, if that, you want it to go somewhere, no matter how it looks right now, especially if it doesn't look to be on the surface like at this moment that things are on track, I would say with these cards, it's telling you opposite. It is going to actually be, working out. Here's the thing. Your overall card, harmony and renewal, the Star card means you have to have faith in the situation despite what it looks like on paper, despite the logical outcome, like what the facts are. You put the facts out, it's cut and dry, this situation looks dismal. Not according to these cards. These cards are like, it doesn't matter what it looks like, it's gonna work out in your favor no matter what. So here's the thing. It seems like we have, with 2 of Wands and 3 of Wands, it means that you have to actually get something moving. There might even be action that you need to take. Being in the waiting and receptive mode right now can only get you so far, but it's like you might have to initiate something. You might have to take an action. Just sitting here waiting seems like you're going to stay in this justice reversed energy of karmic stagnation. I think your situation that you're asking about is a karmic situation or a karmic person. Um, Not to say that it's not anything more than that, but I will say that it's karmic right now because people can fill different roles. And karmic just means that you're stuck in karma in general. It doesn't mean that it's like a label of that kind of person. It just means there's karma going on. So you can stop the wheel of karma at any time you want. But you have to then, in order to do that, you have to be in your heightened mind frame as opposed to just like playing along with earth games and buying into drama and conflict. You have to be like, okay, I see the higher reason why maybe this situation is happening, and maybe what I need to do to break the cycle here. Maybe I need to take a step back. Keep this in mind, okay? Sometimes action forward is actually you can be pulling back. You might need to withdraw from a situation, and that's your action. So you need to do something, but that doesn't mean you need to progress forward necessarily. I hope that part makes sense. Because the way these cards are presenting to me, they kind of all have this feeling of maybe going away from something. So it's going away from how things are right now. Because think about it like this. Let's say you are on a spacecraft, or you're about to be, and you're going to Mars. And it takes a long time to get to Mars. So you say goodbye to your loved ones, and you say to them, just keep this in mind. Right now, the sooner I go is the sooner I'll come back to you. So just remember, every minute that I'm going away from you is a minute closer to me getting back to you. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting here. Is it seems like a journey or a burdensome thing, but it seems like it's going to be in the long run for the benefit of the situation or the people involved. Particularly you, obviously. You're involved in this situation to some degree. So you personally are going to benefit from the fact that it's taking as long as it's going to take. It happens the way it's going to happen, even if things don't look or appear to be in your favor or going the right way, even if it is emotionally, mentally difficult for you. It's setting things up in a path of being to the benefit, the most benefit that there can be. Blessings in disguises, divine timing, divine order of things. So that's where the star card comes in, is saying, I can't control this other than what, like, you got to literally ask yourself, what is it that I actually can do here? I can choose to not play into any of the karma of the situation. I could take a step back. I can, just kind of give it up and say, there's nothing I can do about this. I just have to have hope that it's all going to work out because it's out of my hands. And I will not be benefited by worrying about this. I just have to kind of give it up and let it be what it's going to be. Nine of Pentacles reversed. I kind of want to dig into that a little bit and see what they say about it. A need to reevaluate your relationship with work can indicate material success while feeling alone. A workaholic. The realization that money alone will never be enough. Financial delays. The pressure to appear more successful than you are. No wonder I couldn't pick up on that, because I've never actually heard most of those meanings for when it's reversed. I like that. That's really good. Let's read what it is upright. Spiritual and material satisfaction, personal achievement, inner peace, milestones met and celebrated, the energy of a successful harvest, and contentment. So yeah, that's what I usually know the Nine of Pentacles to be. And when I saw it reversed, I'm like, what is it trying to say? Well, this is going to sound crazy, but I'm going to say that honestly, this is overwhelmingly loud to me that Nine of Pentacles reverse is saying to actually do that. Throw yourself in your work and be a workaholic and put all your focus on something, because what you want to do is withdraw your energy from the thing you're focused on, put your energy on something else productive that's going to help propel you to your future and not keep you stuck in this stagnant energy of like ruminating or mulling over or whatever. You got to like break your whatever thoughts and emotions are being attributed to this thing and reallocate them to something more productive and have the faith that it is going to work out. But you worrying about if it's going to work out or not isn't going to help. Distract yourself with something healthy so that you are not like literally just being stir crazy waiting for something. Like it feels like you have a future date on the calendar that's like far away, and until that date comes and goes, you're restless and you're having anxiety about this, you're stressed. But you might not even have the future date. That's the problem. So you don't know when this is going to happen necessarily. But if you just sit here like all worried about it, you're not doing yourself any favors. So just be like, when it arrives, I'll deal with it. Until it does, I'm going to devote myself to something else. Okay? Give yourself some goals for the future. Think whatever it is that you're dealing with right now, it's not going to be like that forever. It's really not. So don't be afraid to allow yourself to take a break from it and think about long term. Like, if this isn't going to matter 5 years from now, then there's no sense in giving it any more energy at this point. Okay? Okay. That's it for you guys. Pile 2. I'm moving on to pile 3 now. Okay, 3 of Swords. Pile 3. Upheaval and release. I don't know who picks pile 3 because who wants the pile 3 card, but if you did, you're a brave soul and I commend you for that. Let's see what your tarot cards say. Okay, 6 of Wands reversed. So you might be feeling kind of alone and isolated at this time from people, or people understanding you is a possibility. King of Swords, you might have actually isolated yourself. 10 of Wands, and 4 of Wands reversed. 7 of Wands. Okay, so I'm gonna get the ugly messages out of the way first. I just want to make sure that you're not playing the victim or the martyr here, you know. Oh, poor me, nobody loves me, oh, my life sucks, oh, everything. I just want to get that out of the way and make sure you're not doing that, because 3 of Swords can be sometimes self-inflicted wounds, and keeping yourself there, it reminds me of, I'm not saying you're doing this, but it reminds me of somebody who every time you talk to them, they say the same old story, and they're always like in their mentality of things, and you can try to like brighten them up, but they're always like, yeah, but you know, it's like this, and it's usually because of other people that they feel like they're a victim to their circumstances. Like you'll see people that are like this who are caretakers, and they're like, oh, well, I don't have any free time for myself because I'm always caretaking for my mother, and she's very needy, and I'm always at her beck and call, and blah 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 blah. And so the solution would be, well, then you need to have firmer boundaries, and you know, make sure you're allocating time for yourself, or get some help or something, and then they'll make excuses for why they can't. So they're choosing to be where they're at. Now, you might not have that extreme of a situation, but it could be a lesser version of that energy. If you're somebody who, when you talk to people, you are telling them your drama and stuff like that, then you're going to notice people are going to kind of stray away from you because they have their own problems too, and they might not feel like they have enough energy to allocate to you. They might feel drained after talking to you and things like that. So here's another side to it, is you might know somebody like this. I invite you to make sure you have boundaries with that person and not let them suck all your energy out of you because they're sitting here, oh poor me, victim mode, talking about their life and their problems and everything. You might need to distance yourself from people that are like that. Just people who expect of you and never give in return and things like that. Okay. So yeah, your group, your cards make me think that you do need to probably invest more time with friendships and making sure that you have people that you can call on if you need something, instead of being like, I'm always here for everybody, nobody's ever here for me. Maybe that's due to choices you've made in the past or something, but that's not really anybody else's fault. Maybe you need to be more selective with the kind of people you choose to surround yourself with, things like that. You also might want to look into past life stuff, because sometimes if you notice a certain trend in your life, like for example, every relationship I ever get in, it turns out like this, it could be something deeper there, but I wouldn't be able to get into that on a general reading. That would be like, you'd have to dig into that on a personal reading. But if you're somebody who says, and I literally had this question, am I just destined to be alone? If you say something like that, that means that it's either you or it's you, meaning it's either you on a conscious level or it's you on a subconscious level. So there could be something going on subconsciously that needs to be addressed. People will treat you how you expect, or not even expect, how you demand to be treated. If somebody doesn't treat you right, it could be literally that you just haven't enforced your boundaries enough and you're allowing them to treat you in a certain way. And repetition is what sets that in motion. So if you want something to change, you're going to have to put your foot down and say, no more of this. I am, from now on, it's going to be like this. And you might have resistance, but overall, you're the one who has to manage your own energy and time and space and who you spend your time with and all that sort of thing. The Seven of Wands, traditionally, these wands are up at this person, and this person is standing on a hill with a wand, and they're like in defensive mode, but they have the advantage here. So that's the same message for you guys, is even if you feel like you're in defensive mode in some way, you still have the advantage overall. It's what you do with that advantage. What's your next move? Are you going to make a good move, or are you going to make a bad move? There's some strategy involved here. This person is reflecting on what their next move is going to be, using their intuition, using their knowledge of, like past history repeating, and any kind of skills that they've learned and training they've had. They are going to make their next move accordingly based on all that. Think of it like somebody playing chess. They're going to make their next move based on what's going to set up their future moves to be the most successful for them to be victorious. Because here's the thing, Six of Wands upright generally is a victorious card. So being reversed is not really ideal. You got to change that around. You have the advantage, but you might not be seeing it. You might be thinking, disempowered thoughts. So be mindful of the kind of mentalities you notice you're having towards things. Because the King of Swords can be somebody who's like pessimistic, defensive, negative. That's kind of why I went on the tangent I did early on, is because he can be like that. He also, he's very logical, he's very intelligent, he's very determined. He's got great qualities. I'm just saying he can tend to be cold and dismissive and things like that. So he can be narcissistic. He can be um, talking and over talking people, or like not listening to what other people say, just talking over them. Like, I have my opinion and you're not going to change my mind, or this is how it is, the end. You know, you can be bossy. So he thinks he's smarter than you, that kind of thing. He can be like that. So it's just a warning of not being like that. If this is a situation in your workplace, I wouldn't be surprised, or your personal life that has to do with, like, if you're an entrepreneur or something, because 10 of Wands is generally somebody, it's talking about your life, your personal life, but so that could extend to your workplace. But 10 of Wands always makes me think of somebody who's overworking. And so if you're asking about somebody and you're dealing with a King of Swords person, that might, this might not be you, this might be a person we're talking about. So I described those things and you're like, yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. That person might be the cause of your demise, your upheaval, and what you need to release is that person. You need to either enforce stronger boundaries with them, or you need to cut ties with them, because it's got to be one or the other. You can't be stabbing yourself in the heart here. It's like they stabbed you once, and then you're like, I guess I'll do this too, and then they stabbed you again. I mean, it's like you have to put yourself first at this point. Four of Wands reversed. Sometimes Four of Wands to me feels like moving out of a home, which is probably not a traditional meaning of it, but it just, I sometimes get that vibe. But because in conjunction with workplace, it could be changing a job, it could be leaving a job, especially because this looks like somebody who is taking what they have and going. So it could be literally that, but it also could be like, when you see in movies, people get to work and they pack all their stuff in that little office box, and then they see them going out, and then somebody goes, hey, what happened to you? And they're like, got canned, and then they go on with their life. Well, that's kind of the feeling I'm getting with these two things, is like moving out of either your physical situation, work, or home. But this is the thing. Stop being a victim about it if you are, because this is to your advantage. This is actually to your benefit. This is a blessing in disguise. You're going to look back on this and go, ooh, I'm actually glad that happened. Like, at first you're freaking out. Oh my God, I can't believe this happened. But then you're like, you know what? If that hadn't happened, then this wouldn't have happened. And thank God this happened, because that's actually the best thing that could have happened. It's like the universe has your back in this situation, even if it doesn't look like it. You'd be amazed. Okay? Cool. All right, that's it for you guys, pile 3. I'm going to move on to pile 4. I hope that was helpful for you today and not too depressing. And have a wonderful day. Okay, pile 4. 10 of Rings. Culmination and satisfaction. So the 10 of Rings is the 10 of Pentacles, which we actually already got in another pile, so I don't expect it to come back out again since I'm not putting the cards back in, but we'll see what else we get. Okay. 5 of Swords, 5 of Pentacles, Knight of Wands reversed, Six of Cups reversed, and Strength reversed, and the Hermit reversed. I don't know, I felt like I had to pull that one out too. So you got an extra card. You're the extra pile and you got an extra card. Okay, unfortunately, your cards are kind of depressing overall, so I'm going to try to see what's going on here. There's definitely a shift of energy that needs to happen with these cards. Almost all reversed. The only one upright is a card you want reversed. So I'm like, what the hell? You might have picked the 10 of Rings thinking, ooh, this is going to be a great card, culmination and satisfaction. And then boom, all these cards come out that are like complete opposite. For example, 5 of Pentacles is the worst card you can get financially speaking and or spiritually. Like, you might be at a low point with your money and or with your view toward your life, your future, like you're wanting the 10 of Pentacles, but I'm going to tell you right now, either you're not in that energy, and I'm worried that you're going to continue to not be in that energy, or opposite, you're in the good energy right now, but I'd hate for something to come in and wipe you off your feet, and then you're sitting here going, like, losing your faith, basically. Also, Five of Swords is also one of those cards that is like you'd rather see reversed, but you got it upright. So I'm like, man, Five of Swords is a really heavy energy of disagreement, fighting, bickering, harsh words, just a lot of, like, you can tell this person is going through it, right? And you see the crow on his shoulder, right? That crow is loud, and it's like he's already got a headache and he's already like dealing with stuff, and then here comes this out of nowhere. Here's the other thing, that as if to like really set it home, the person in the background here, they are living it up. So here's this guy going through crap, and this guy's over here like, yay, and he's just like, oh my god, my life sucks so bad right now. And it really feels like it, because the Five of Pentacles and Five of Swords combination is just not cool. Also, Five of Pentacles combination, or I mean the Five of Pentacles card, traditionally is two people outside of a church, and the idea is all the money goes to the church, but do you really see it helping the community? Because they're two homeless people walking in front of the church. They're out in the cold. They have physical injuries. They aren't clothed properly. They don't have shelter. They don't have money. They don't have food. But you got this church with the glowing lights inside. You can tell it's so nice and warm in there. So it's literally like being left out in the cold, and figuratively or literally. And it's literally like replaying that message for me, where you're seeing somebody who has it all, but you're just sitting here going, my life sucks so bad right now. So I hope that's not where you're at right now, and I also hope that it's not your future. I'm hoping that this is something you've overcome, but if you are in it, I'm hopeful that your 10 of Pentacles is your future, or it has the potential to be, but you have to make it happen, because it's like, how are you going to get out of from where you are now to this 10 of Pentacles? You're going to have to make it actually happen. So further emphasized by the Knight of Wands in the reverse position, because in the upright, this person's all is great, everything's cool, but reversed, it's like, this is the past, or this is not possible, or this is just like not in alignment right now, and things do need to be aligned. It feels to me like there's just opportunities that are not being taken. It's like somebody who has a way out, but they don't want to take it because maybe the strings that are attached to it. If I borrow money from this person, that means that I'm now indebted to them and I have to cooperate with what they want. But there may be another option. It might be that you have to take that, but then you don't have to actually abide by their rules as much as you think. Or, it seems to me like it might not be as cut and dry as you might think it is. The Six of Cups in the reverse position, and it's reversed, makes me sad, because like this, I don't know why, for some reason his face doesn't look happy. It looks like he has lost the dog, and that the dog is actually like in spirit, but he is remembering the dog, because the Six of Cups is often a card of nostalgia. So it's like he had this dog all his life, and now it's an adult, and then it passes, because remember, it's reversed. So, and now the dog passes, and now he is stuck in that energy of sadness. So looking back fondly on memory. Now, I don't know what this is actually talking about. we're probably not talking about a dog. You know, we're either talking about a relationship or your past. Like, oh man, I remember when my past was like this and now it's like this. But dwelling on the past in a way that's like, you know, not keeping you grounded in the reality isn't going to be beneficial. What would be better for you is to focus on the future. Going back to the past isn't going to do you any favors. You got to be forward minded right now. Strength is reversed. So, anytime strength is reversed, it's really telling to me that there needs to be a boost that has to be internally driven. It's just like this seems like somebody who's been kicked. This seems like somebody who's at a low point. It seems like somebody who just doesn't have faith or belief that their future can be better. They're just like, oh, like where I'm at right now is where I'm going to be forever, but it's not. This does feel like very karmic overtones because I'm not seeing any kind of like getting out of it. Like it has to be a mentality that you have to get out of this. You have to change your mentality even when your situation looks dismal. You can't say, oh, my situation is dismal, so I'm going to be dismal. You have to say, oh, my situation is dismal, therefore I have to work even harder to get out of it. I got to work even harder to get that 10 of Pentacles when the strength is reversed. It doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means it's going to be difficult. But nothing worth doing is going to come to you easy anyway. So think about how you're going to be able to look back on this and go, wow, I was at that point in my life then. I made it happen. I'm on the other side. I'm now in my 10 of Pentacles. You'll have a real coming up story, you know? So, like, yeah, I used to be this and that, and now look at me. And I did it all because of my hard work, and I did it myself, and nobody can take that from me. I, you know, took the reins and made my life what it is. And your last card was the Hermit reversed. So you might be just kind of living life on autopilot, but you need to do some introspection and soul searching. You might be going through a dark night of the soul, but you're going to have to like make use of it and go through it. It's not pleasant when you go through dark nights of the soul. But the fact that your overall card, even though all of these are negative, like literally all of them, your overall card is so optimistically positive that it's like, if this was negative also, I would be really concerned. But I'm like, but this is your thing, you know, you have this. Culmination means what you're working toward, the culmination of everything. So this phase that I'm reading into is not the be all end all. It's just the where it's at right now. But the culmination of it is going to be so much better. I just want to pull an extra card to say near future. I said extra card, but I'm pulling cards. Man, this really needs a shift, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, so I see it. The Four of Pentacles reversed is a good thing, because if it was upright, I'd be like, man, this is really not budging. This is not going anywhere, is it? But when it's reversed, I'm like, okay, loosening the grip, allowing it to be, not resisting, not fighting it, letting it go. But then you got 10 of Swords, so I'm like, ooh, this is a rock bottom. This is the low point. It can go nowhere lower from here. It has to only go up from here. And then I'm like, ooh, Hanged Man reversed. Upright is a good thing because it's like a change of perspective about things. Reversed is like, man, you really need to have that change of perspective about things, because it cannot continue the way it is now, because it can go lower. It can, but you got to stop it in its tracks. This is reminding me of a situation of somebody who was like, I don't want to leave this person, because if I do, is going to destroy them. And then that's on me. And my reaction to that is it's going to go one of two ways. They're either going to let it get the best of them and it's going to destroy them, like you said, or they're going to find their strength and they're going to go up. That's really it. So maybe it's both. Maybe it's first they're going to go down, have their rock bottom, and then they're going to build themselves up. But that's not on you. You know, this person in particular had substance abuse issues. I'm like, you don't just stay with somebody. You're basically enabling them. They need to get help. You're with them. They refuse to get help. You staying with them isn't doing anybody favors. It's not doing you favors. It's not doing them favors. It's not doing the kids favors. So you are going to have to figure out how to address this so that this person is getting the actual help they need from themselves. They have to want to. You can try to make them all you want, but it's not going to be effective. They have to either one day wake up and decide, I'm going to tackle this problem now, or they have to hit their rock bottom and then wake up and decide, I'm going to tackle my problem now. You know? And if they don't, if they go down and they stay down, that's their choice. You know, they're living their life. If you're trying to live your life in order to help somebody else live their life, what does that even mean? You know, you're living your life, they're making their choices. You can only help somebody so much. So in your case, if you're the one at the rock bottom, I'm really hoping to tell you, make your life the 10 of Pentacles life. Don't let things bring you down. Don't let karmic things bring you down. Remember, you are a spiritual person living a human experience. Human experiences suck. This life sucks. Everything sucks, right? But you know better than that. You know that people are crap because they're in their karma. You know that situations suck because the planet is very karmic. We haven't yet ascended to the 5D vibration, which is the, you know, everybody living in harmony and everybody contributing and all this utopian stuff. We're at like our rock bottom of the where we're at planetarily right now, and collectively, you know, as a whole, where we're all at, we're kind of like at a breaking point, or like a culmination of, isn't that the word? Yeah, we're at the culmination of, it's gonna have to change, or what, you know. It can't continue to stay this way. It's just not sustainable. The way that we're treating the earth and everything. There's that documentary came out, I think it's probably on Netflix or Amazon, I forget which one, where the guy who's been doing all the God, what is his name? You know, all the he talks about what the world is going to, climate change and all that. And then there's people who are like, la la la, climate change doesn't exist, and you're like, are you freaking stupid or something? You know, it's gonna we're at a tipping point, or we're about to be at a tipping point, probably in my lifetime. And since I have children, I care about the future of the planet and all that sort of thing. So I'm like, you know, we're at our rock bottom right now. This has to change. It's either, and I'm like, it's either gonna get better, or it's gonna get really crappy, and then it's gonna get better, or it's just gonna get really crappy and then stay really crappy forever. That's kind of how I feel about most situations when they're at rock bottoms. So whether it's your life, a relationship, or the actual big picture collective planet, I think it all applies. And if you have a differing opinion, I'd love to hear it, because I'm not somebody who's like, this is how I think and I'm right and the end. I'm open-minded, and I like to hear what other people think too. So, and I'd like to expand my knowledge on things. If you have a fourth or fifth or sixth option of what other possibilities are, let me know. Otherwise, I wish you well in your situation. I hope that you are able to turn your strength around and all that sort of thing. If that is you that we're talking about, it's always possible in these readings that we're not talking about you, but we're talking about somebody that you're dealing with, especially if you are a reader yourself and you help other people. So you know, it's not always necessarily about you literally, but you'll know if that was your life or not. And by the way, if you're in a good point right now, I really don't think that it's like things are going to go terribly dismal for you anytime in the near future. But I would just say, like, if something comes out of nowhere and catches you off guard, and, you know, like, basically don't let it ruin your day, don't let it ruin your mojo, don't let it ruin your life by all means. Sometimes crap happens, you know, and you can't, like, expect that something happens to you and now all of a sudden, like, you're just gonna give up, you know. You gotta, like, just keep going forward because you have that 10 of pentacles for your future, so it is possible, it is attainable. You're just gonna have to you know, make sure that you're doing the work to ensure that it comes to fruition for you. Cool. All right, that's all I got for you guys, pile four. I hope you have a great day. See you later. Bye.